Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. Are you ready
Ready for what?
to level up?
Okay, girl, let's get started. Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
Hi, everyone. On today's episode, we'll be talking about how social media influences us to kind of make maybe daily decisions or decisions about our life or make us, question some of the things that we do every day.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, with today's day and age, we have social media that surrounds us in almost everything we do. And if anything, the pandemic is like the biggest example of how far social media has even come. Everyone was looking around the world, not just by the news, but what's going on social media. If there was world protests going on, or even what's even happening currently in Afghanistan, we're finding this all out through social media, whether it be through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, um, TikTok. What else is
Yeah,
there?
so much.
Snapchat. Yeah, like there's
It's
endless
everywhere.
possibilities. Yeah. And if you're someone who's not on social media, I don't believe the first second that you don't even have one piece of the social media. Everyone has something, whether it be Facebook or Snapchat or TikTok or Instagram, you have one of them. You have to have one of them.
Yeah, I always wonder what those people are doing that have no social media. Like, where are you getting your information from? But social media is a double-edged sword because, on one hand, I feel like in our everyday busy lives, sometimes we just need, like, me and you do it all the time. We'll be like, we just need 10 minutes to sit on our phone. And we get a lot of news, as you mentioned, from social media and like what's happening and stuff like that. Like things that we don't have time to sit through and read whole articles about. We get a quick glimpse of what's kind of happening in the neighborhood around the world. But then it's a double-edged sword because it has like its benefits, but then it's also like a whole mind fuck because it can influence us in so many negative ways as well. And, it makes people insecure. People are making their lives look so perfect on social media, which is not reality. And I think um, there are people that will be like, okay, this is not their reality. But then there are a lot of people that are like, oh, I wish this was my life. And, everything looks so good. And why isn't my life like that? So it's kind of, it has its benefits, but it also has so many negative factors.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, Raman, because, I do have a lot of friends that are impacted by social media easily. And I do have to say, for a very long time, I was not. I think I was able to tell that, like, no one's life is picture perfect.
Hmm.
But I don't know if it was because I watched reality TV shows growing up or what it was, that I just know a lot of it is just taking a picture in the moment. And a picture does not tell you a whole story. It
Yeah.
says 1,000 words, but it doesn't actually tell you a whole story. So I do have a couple of girlfriends that do honestly mentally get impacted by social media, by their surroundings of maybe friends they went to with high school. They're not in a certain part of their life where they think they need to be. And that goes back to all that foundation of what we know of, society norms, the norms of
Yeah.
society based off your age group. So when you're 25, you should be done school, have an amazing job, have met the guy or your partner of your dreams. And then by 26, 7, you should have this big ass ring on your finger. And by 28, have this huge ass wedding and have 2 kids by 31.
Yeah.
That's not how life works. And we all know that. But then you do have some of those people that do have that timeline in their lives and they post that on social media. So you
Hmm.
might be some 26 or 25-year-old who's like, fuck, my friend is already married with a kid and has this big ass house. And I'm still in school. I'm doing my master's or I'm doing my MBA program. I'm trying to make a buck or two here. And I'm going through this pandemic and they look so happy. But
Yeah.
reality is, we don't know really the other person's true story. You don't know if that person got knocked up and had no choice but to marry that person at a young age, or whatever the circumstances are, or maybe they really are in love. There's so many different situations that we have no idea about, but we should never compare our lives with someone else's. We're leading our own path, and those individuals are leading their own.
Do you feel like there's a pressure to post on social media? Like, say, for example, you got engaged, right? Obviously, we see on social media, like within a week of if someone's been proposed to or engaged to, it's on social media. Do you think there is a pressure that when you do have a big milestone like that, like when you do get married, when you do have a child, to post it on social media to like, I don't know, I guess like not even show people, but like inform people? Because I feel like even though there's obviously we don't talk to people, we literally socialize with people through seeing each other's pictures on social media. Do you feel like you have an obligation to inform people? Like, I don't know. I feel like some people there feels pressure because imagine like you are not somebody who posts on social media and then you got engaged, you got married, you had a child, you have your whole life going, and then, but none of it's on social media,
Yeah.
right? Um, I mean, there are people like that. But I feel like to some extent there's a pressure to post what's going on in your
Hmm.
life
So
or like at least a big milestone.
I know you and I are not huge posters
Yeah, we're done.
on Instagram. We don't really care for the trends. We take a million pictures and of memories, but I think we're not the type to always post it.
Mm-hmm.
When I got engaged and married, I was very late in posting on social media. I took my time. I did
Yeah.
not. For me, it was very important to WhatsApp and call and FaceTime people that mattered to me, that I spoke to on a daily basis, that actually genuinely cared about me. That's how I expressed to them. Um, I did social media, I think, months after I got engaged. Same thing with my wedding. I didn't post a picture of me, myself only, till like only because I love this one picture of how I was captured. I didn't post it till months later as well. Um, Recently, I realized I haven't posted in a very long time. So I went on and posted our friend Rahul's wedding.
Yeah.
Because I was having withdrawals, and B, I was like, oh, like, I just had to. It's such a beautiful event. How can you not post it? But at the same time, I didn't feel obligated or at any time in my life, but I know people do. I know people
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, I've heard my own friends and I've heard other people say, oh, I got to tell all these people before I post it on the like gram.
Oh my God, I have heard that too before.
Yeah. And so then I feel like
Because
they
then
think,
there's like an obligation. Because I remember one time I found out somebody was engaged through social media, and I was like, how dare I find out through social media and not
right?
through you?
Right? Like it doesn't make sense. And that's the other thing. Are you doing it because you're basically shoving it at other people and your other friends that you don't talk to on a daily basis? Like, haha, I didn't inform you, and haha, look, I'm engaged. Because I've had a friend impacted by that that was really close to the family and the girl who got engaged. And she was kind of like, she posted it everywhere and then told everyone. And she was kind of like, what the fuck? And I think that's sometimes people doing it to jab them, or maybe
Yeah.
it's people just like the gram is their everything and that's where they post their entire life, but we do have this one friend. So it's your friend that I made into my friend. He said to me at one time, I forget the situation. Oh yes, do you remember that social media um thing that happened where I posted to congratulate someone on my story that they
Yeah.
were having a baby,
Yeah.
and people who I don't talk to just assumed it was my baby, even though it clearly said, congratulations to your baby girl, to whoever.
Yeah.
Uh, that kind of really messed with me because, like I said, I don't usually let other people's milestones impact me because I've always beat it to my own drum. So the baby thing has been a sensitive topic for me, and during that time I was very emotional. And when that person had messaged and congratulated me and being naive and ignorant, kind of pissed me off. And I remember saying, like, I'm so sick of social media, I think I'm going to disable my account. And it was just
Mhm.
for that. um, I think it was Raf who said it. He was like, why? He like, fuck those people, fuck what they say. And he was like, social media can also be a learning platform.
Yeah.
And he made me like, we already do follow a lot of people if of your interests and your passions. Like you and I follow housings, we
Mhm.
followed
Mhm.
fashion. You might follow more decor than I do. I know I follow a lot of people who do cooking and foods and
Yeah.
easy meals, that kind of stuff, and makeup and stuff and skincare, right? So it is a huge learning platform because there's so much more to social media. But then you have people on there who just put up things for the hell of it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So I think you need to look at your Instagram and know the reason why you're on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it may be, and remember that reason when the next time you see something that might upset you.
Yeah, and I think it's like completely okay at this age to unfollow. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I say this all the time that I actually go on my business Instagram account more than my personal Instagram account, like way more, because my personal Instagram account has, people that I know, and it's like, it's just their lives. And it's not like, I'm not trying to say I don't care about your life, but like, what am I getting out of looking at your pictures? Nothing, right? And I'm not much of
Exactly.
a poster. So I really like, I literally, I had to tell Tim. So basically, I would end up going on my personal Instagram account. I see all these messages, and I'm like, can you start sending me messages to my decor account? Because I'm on that one more, because that's the one where I follow my passions. So that's where I follow all the motivational stuff, all the decor, all the event planning, things that are of interest to me. So even though that account has people that like I don't know, it's more I'm seeing content of things that I want to see on a daily basis. So and then the personal account, I just don't care about people's lives and their pictures. But I do think that when I was younger and maybe when you were younger too, and when Instagram came out, it it was about like seeing people's pictures and their lives and stuff like that. And it was always like trying to keep up with like who posted what and you trying to post something. But as mentioned, yeah, we should be using social media and these platforms to our own positive, because as mentioned, it's a double-edged sword. So there's a lot of positive things that come from social media as information, knowledge, learning. um I know like people talk so much shit about TikTok too, and we did too, but it's like you actually learn so much random shit if you just follow the right account.
It's true.
We
Like
learn
how to
so
make a
many
meal in
hacks.
5 seconds, okay? Like
Yeah.
decor, like dressing, fashion. And we've done some of the TikToks and they're
Yeah.
fun.
I have to say that learning to do TikToks was definitely an experience that things are not what they seem, because I used to look at TikTok and be like, oh my God, like the whole thing, like, oh, it just looks perfect, right? You're just seeing this perfect TikTok, which is like 15 seconds. And you're like, wow, like this girl's such a good dancer. Or like, oh my God, these people did this so well. But then Alicia and I tried to make a TikTok, and we know now from experience after trying like the same video like 20 times that that little 15-second video does not come easy, and it's not as perfect as it seems, because people just see the 15-second TikTok, but not like the agony and the torture that goes behind.
It's not
It is
easy.
fun
And
though. It is fun.
it's fun, but not easy. But it also goes out to say, like, content creators who do this full time, that are influencers in the media, be like, we
Yeah.
never had this before. So now that we have these new terms of influencers on social media, people go, oh, they just get like paid to show their face online. No, there, that's the thing. It's things like TikTok, learning the newest of the new trends and
Mhm.
being on top of it, and then planning your content so you do
It's a lot of
post.
work.
It is, and I think it's one of those jobs that are undermined, because you and I have multiple business accounts where we have to post, and I struggle. Like with my 9 to 5,
Yeah.
I'm struggling to even post on Instagram, and I know you post on both of the accounts, and I don't even know how the frig you still do it. But like, and
But we
even,
fall behind sometimes too. It's hard to keep up, and these influencers are keeping up every day to show us content.
and how do you stay positive? Like if you're a
Yeah.
social content creator or an influencer out there, I want to know, how do you stay positive from like Monday to Sunday? I don't think your job ever ends. And
Yeah.
when do you really find that time to put away the camera and just be in the moment?
Yeah, that's the hard part, because you'll see them at like dinner and stuff like that and still making videos. And it sucks because you and I are people that just kind of want to like put our phones down, and we're talkers, so we could talk like for 5 hours.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's definitely hard. It's undermined. And at the end of the day, what's the craziest thing is like all we see is the photo, like the hot girl summer photo, but not like probably the 500 photos that she had to take to get that one photo. But that just kind of shows that like all people really see is just like the perfect photo or the perfect video, but not. And I think it's natural to compare. Like,
Hmm.
I think like it would be too easy to be like, oh, don't compare yourself to others, because I think it's just naturally in our human nature to naturally be like, oh, I like her butt, or like, ooh, I like her like fashion style, or I like her apartment. I want something like that. So I don't think it's a bad thing to want things like what other
Or
people have.
aspire to be like someone
Aspire.
else.
That's
Yeah.
the perfect word. But it's like making sure that you're putting yourself in the right mindset, that you're not letting it influence you in a bad way, because we have up to date, I think like since social media has come about, I remember being in high school when Facebook first came out. So before that, there was no social media. And since that time to now, the amount of, there's also like social media bullying. There's like internet trolls. There's, so many cases of kids and children and even adults falling into depression or, committing suicide because of like their influence of social media on their lives and, them going into depression. So there have been so many negative cases. So I feel like if you see signs that social media is not helping you in a benefit way, it is a good idea to disconnect. And we do see it all the time. People will be like, I need to take a break from social media. I need to, take a break. But it's like, how do you even take a break though when it's like everywhere around you? I remember when I didn't have Instagram because I got locked out of my account.
I remember
Um,
that.
but do you remember how I didn't know anything that was going on? Because
You had no clue.
I'd be like, I don't have Instagram right now. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I didn't, people would talk about something because it was all over Instagram. And I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I was so behind. I felt so behind. But and I guess, yeah, like that's what kind of comes with also like not having social media. But I'm not going to lie, I didn't hate it. I liked not having Instagram. And I think that's why I don't mind not going onto my personal account too much because now I do want to use it to kind of like use it positively. But
Yeah.
I do feel like, yeah, if you feel like it's not impacting you in a good way, like take a break, try taking a break at least, even if
Or
it's
just
for a day
delete
or a
the
week.
you don't even have to disable your account. You could just delete the apps off your
Yeah.
phone for now. iPhone has this great feature now too, and I know a lot of people complain about how they waste so much time on TikTok and stuff. Like hours can go by, and it's kind of like watching TV, right? But there's this app on Apple phones that basically you can have your partner or parent or sibling um, lock you out at a certain time, and only they know the password. So
Yes.
it's great for
Yes.
kids. It's great. I don't know if Samsung has it, but I know it's great for children. It's great for someone who needs to time manage better. If you're in
Hmm.
school, if you've got a lot to do, you got to organize, you got to move, you got to pack, whatever it may be. That's another thing to like start cutting back and until you have self-control again, right? Because remember, people can be addicted too. But I do want to touch
Hmm.
base on the fact that you also mentioned using it as a positive manner. I think
Yeah.
people don't realize, we put so much time into what we're posting in the picture, but I don't think enough people put in time into the caption and
Yeah.
what the caption is basically saying. The caption speaks for everything you post. And it can either be looked at in a good way or a bad way. And then also how you comment on other people's things, whether it just be a group, like, that Six Buzz TV thing. Today
Hmm.
I was a little disturbed by what was said about what happened in Brampton.
Oh, the
And
trafficking.
yeah, I'm like
I saw
really,
that this morning too. See, we
yeah,
wouldn't have known that if we didn't have Instagram.
exactly. And I'm going to be very honest, I was very disappointed. Like, I stopped watching
Mhm.
the news once the pandemic started because it was just too depressing at that point.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have known. But I'm very, like, disappointed in my community right now, right? And
Yeah.
it's just like, come on. Like, you came to Canada to have another chance at life, and this is how you're using it. So just things like that. And I always look at some of the comments because I kind of want to see
I
what
was
are
gonna
people
say, are
saying.
you a comment reader?
I am. I like to see, depending on what it is, I will spend the time to look. And I do sometimes comment. I'm not just a viewer. I do comment and speak. I used to go on Twitter and talk a lot of shit to a lot of people. Not shit talking, but like express my opinion on political views or certain things. This was years ago when I was in university. I don't do that anymore. But I just I was reading the comments and I liked a couple because a lot of people weren't just saying, "Oh, they're brown." Automatically wanted to see if people were going to say, "Go back to where you came from," or things like
Mhm.
that. And I think that's why I wanted to see what was happening. But no, the community was saying a lot more than that, and they were saying, this is the disappointment. This is not who we represent. Someone even went as far to say, "We finally had a Singh or a brown person in Arthur. We finally have a movie coming out about Brampton and." Not Brampton, but an Indian individual who's wearing a turban to represent the Sikh community. And
Mhm.
then you go do things like this when we're
Yeah.
finally being represented. And I couldn't have liked that comment even more because it is so goddamn true. So what you do on social media is one thing, but are we forgetting that what we do in society is another?
Yeah. you have to use those things and reflect it in your everyday life. It can't be just what you're trying to portray on social media. It's just like those people who will do a good deed, but then they film doing the good deed to post it on social media. I never understood that. Like, if you're going to do a good deed, just do it to do the good deed. But I feel like some people are just doing it to post it on social media. But yeah, I mean, definitely like disappointing news. Also like very informative. I was just like, oh my God, this is like every other day I'm seeing something happen in Brampton. I swear to God.
Yeah.
But I do feel like what you said is absolutely true. I'm not you know what? I'm not a commenter, but I never actually used to read comments before, but Tim is a comment reader. And I just I would see him do it so much. So I'm like, you know what? Like, maybe I should go read the comments sometimes. But I feel like a lot of them are just like internet trolls. And they're just people who, like, most of them, not all, but most of them will be just like people who have some sort of like opinion about it and they just want to like fight with other people online in the comment section or something like that.
I don't,
Um,
yeah, I agree with you on that. But I do think a lot of people do have something to say.
yeah, which is fine. Completely okay. But we should also use social media to like uplift each other and like not make sure that every comment is bad and just like, I feel like when people see a comment that they have an opinion about, they're so quick to comment. But then when you see like regular positive uplifting things people post on social media, like those things don't have enough comments like saying positive things in the comment section and kind of like creating that positive energy. So that's why I feel like the comment section has such a bad reputation like everywhere on social media.
But
Just be-
I have to disagree with you because we post a lot of uplifting quotes, and a lot of our like followers on our Instagram account actually come back and comment, "I couldn't agree more with this," or
yeah,
like, "Hell yeah," and they repost us. And it's just like I get so proud of us when I see that because we're doing something right,
I
you
feel
know?
like we need more of this, like more
Yeah.
people like putting positive energy out on social media versus just like negative.
Yeah,
um
like maybe somebody should try to do it once a week.
yeah,
Start with
absolutely.
once a week if you can, like, try to comment something nice about a friend or someone you went to high school with that you're watching quietly but you're not liking or commenting. Why not just uplift them?
Yeah. Okay, question for you. For the people that don't have social media, and I know you and I always talk about them all the time because we're like, what the fuck are they doing in their life right now? So, I mean, we're here talking about how social media influences your life. So, what about those people that literally do not have social media? Do you feel like they have less external factors that are influencing their everyday behavior or maybe like how they see things or how they get impacted?
I think they're naive or ignorant. To be
Yeah.
very honest, I think they're just being naive or ignorant. I'm not saying social media you need to always have in your life, but I do truly believe because we knew someone like this, I think she was just naive. She
Yeah,
thought she was
remember the
so.
girl we used to work
Yeah.
with? And like, I still wonder what happened to her.
Well, the funny thing is she's on Clubhouse because she came up as someone I know, but you're on Clubhouse out of all things. Okay. I feel like people either have something to hide and that's why they're not on social media. Or
Really?
yeah, that's because every person I've known that isn't on there, it's because they're dating someone they shouldn't be due to their parents finding out, or it's because of something they don't want to deal with. I don't know. It's always been some sort of situation like that. I've never
I
heard
feel
someone
like
give me a real reason as to why they're not on social media other than a situation.
okay, I might get a lot of hate for saying this, but I feel like when a woman doesn't have social media, it's more questionable. But when a man does, like, I can believe some guys out there who don't have social media because they're just kind of not those people, or like maybe they'll have an account but they just don't like post anything or like follow anybody, so they're just following the people that whatever, maybe they want to like keep an eye on or whatever. But I feel like when a guy doesn't have social media, it's more like, okay, yeah, he doesn't do social media. But when a woman doesn't have social media, it's more like questionable. It's like, why don't
Yeah,
you have social media? What's going on? What are you
yeah.
hiding?
Like what's happening here?
What's happening in your life? Like, I want to know. And it sucks because it's like sometimes, and this is like, it's kind of like a good and a bad thing, but if we didn't have social media, like when I feel like it would be like in the 60s, like when you leave school, you just never see the people again and you never know what happened in their life. And you like, kind of like see them 20 years later on a road and you're like, oh my God. But like, at least with social media, even though I don't talk to these people in high school, it still feels like you exist, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
definitely. Yeah,
Like you're not
100%.
a part of my life, but if I saw you tomorrow and I saw on your social media that you just had a baby, I'd be like, oh my God, congratulations. I just saw that you had a baby. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like a good and bad thing, but I definitely think people need to use it to a positive light and they need to use it for their own benefit. And if it's not benefiting them, then yeah, they do need to take a break from social media or like honestly just unfollow the people that are not making you happy and then fill your account with accounts and positivity and energy that you want to open your social media and see every day.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to us, everyone. If you have any input, any comments regarding what we're saying, you can always email us at ramanandalysha@gmail.com. And if you're not already following us on social media, you can follow us at Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
Yes. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Have a great
Bye.
day.